So I'm here to bring you today a full review on Dragon Ball Xenoverse. This is going to be covering the story of the game, and also as well going to be talking about a lot of the features that are in this game, the online capability, and a few other little things as well. So basically I'm going to get straight off what pretty much the whole gist of this story is. You are part of the time patrol, like Future Trunks has able to summon you, and you have to be your own character. You get to customize your own character, and you've got to save the Dragon Ball Z timeline from 3 villains, Toa, Mira, and Demiga. And you have to like defeat these villains and also as well like change like the reoccurring effects that are happening in the timeline. There are things that are changing, like say like Frieza already goes full power like going against Piccolo and all them, or say like Hercule is actually getting stronger than Cell and stuff like that, or like crazy shit's like happening in the timeline. It's like a very more interesting thing happening to the actual DBZ apart from like let's just recreate the same story over and over again with nicer graphics. Like, so that's pretty much the gist of the story, and I'm going to get straight onto the pros and the cons of things. So I've got to say straight up with the pro knowledge that, as I said, you can create a character from this game and you get to play alongside with like all the DBZ characters is awesome, and you have a selection of characters to choose from. You can have from Margin, Saiyans, humans, Namekians, the Frieza race, and what's best if you're actually a male or female, that can actually differ your stats that you have. Like say like a male Margin is a lot more better with his stamina, but he's like really slow as well. But a female Margin will be a little bit faster and all that. And not to mention as well, like a Zayn's better at like strike attacks and all that, while a female Zayn is a lot better at ki blast. Like I really love like the little details of that, and the customizability that you have to your characters is pretty good and all that. It's like kind of like for a very different kind of MMO feel. Like it's definitely going for like you get to customize with a bunch of gear and stuff, and kind of like make any kind of character you want. It is a little bit restricted to some parts, but that can be easily fixed with easily like DLCs and just buying like suits and characters and all that for all you got. Not to mention as well, like another part is that the stats on the characters is just great. Like every character from your customer character to all the DBZ characters have different stats, moves, and they all feel different, all different combos, and they all feel different. So when you have someone going against like a big heavy character like Majin Buu, he's very heavy and he doesn't really move that fast. But if you use someone like say like Frieza, who like attacks really fast, but he doesn't really have that too much stronger like strike moves and stuff like that. And then if you go for someone like Beerus, who could just like fire giant like balls of death and all that, I really like that. And not to mention like there's a lot of different versions of characters that you can have. Like you can have say like Goku from like the Frieza saga or something like that, or you can have it like Super Saiyan God. There are a bunch of characters on this roster that you can use. It's a very valuable. You can have pretty much everybody on this one. Not to mention as well, customization on your characters. Like this is something that has been much needed and all that. I know they did this in Ultimate Tenkaichi, but that was not a very good game. So you get to like choose like what moves you want. You can have like choose what ultimates you want. Up to like 2 ultimates. You can have like skills. Like you can have like instant transmissions, Kamehamehas, big bang attacks. You could name it. You have like mentors going throughout the world, and like the more that you progress through the story, the more that you can get like all these mentors and all that. And it's like you keep leveling up your character. They might teach you some stuff, and they might even tell you to do a little fetch quest here and there. And it feels very immersive, this game. Like one thing I can definitely say is like I was getting really into the storyline. I was really getting in there, fighting side by side with the characters, really having fun. And just another thing I've got to say is that this game on the PS4 looks amazing. This game feels like next gen. It feels good to play. It doesn't feel rushed in any other way. And it's like, and another thing I can say, but gameplay wise and all that, it's like what I love is that there is non-existent load times nearly. Even when you're playing online with friends, like they're pretty much just 2 seconds or 3 seconds, and there you go. You're straight into the next area. Another thing to say is like you can actually go into different parts of the area. You're not just restricted to one part of the map as well. Like the worlds are big and vast, and not to mention you have these little teleporters in like certain events that you can like transport to the wastelands. You can go to space. You could like it really adds it all up, and like there's different parts of your mind. Like some of them are slightly breakable. Like some of them go, like they regen. You do like a giant like Kamehameha, but it's like nice to see that when you do like say like a final flash, it just leaves an imprint on the ground and then it just like disappears, and it's like really cool, and I really enjoy it. Not to mention as well, you also have little things called parallel quests which you can go on the side of the menu, like you could choose like recreate a certain event from the story, or they can go like for like a boss rush sort of mode. Like you can choose as well who you want on your side during these missions, and it's really good. So say like you only like a certain amount of characters, like there, say like your mate create a character and you want Ginyu and Goku on your team, you can do that as long as you've got beaten the story parts of them. You can honestly have them. It's really cool to see like you teaming up with all these characters. Not to mention as well, the game is pretty much mainly balanced for the most part. Like, I haven't really noticed too many like overpowered or like broken moves on like custom characters that you can have. It depends if you like really max out your stats, like for one say, because you have different stats throughout the game. You have health, ki, stamina, and stamina is the one that you use to like teleport away or use your escape moves, or use your energy for your Kaiokens, and your ki is mainly used for like your ki blast, and like also like your special moves, like say like using Super Saiyan or something would like vastly like reduce your ki in that way, but you get like access to like a super amount of time, so you can use like your Kamehamehas and stuff. So very interesting stuff on that part. And actually the story as well is actually really engaging at some points. Like, I actually genuinely started to care for like some of the characters. I actually cared about like the Supreme Kaitai. I actually thought like the villains for the most part were pretty much cool and enjoyable. Another thing to say is that actually Toei Animation went out of their way, and I didn't even know this when I was playing that, they actually had anime cutscenes incorporated, not just the opening cutscene as well, which is amazing, but it's like they have actually anime cutscenes nearly throughout the whole game. I would say like there were like about like maybe about 10 or 11 of them in the whole game or so, and it was just awesome just to see like all the like the villains and stuff like that, and just seeing like all parts of the series. It was really awesome to say about that. Now I've got to get into the cons of the game. I can definitely say the villains, the three villains for this, Toa, Mira, and Demigod, were really not much in the story for the most part. And another disappointing thing to say is that they're non-playable. I really would have loved to play as Mira. I thought Mira was like an awesome character design. Toa as well, where it seemed like how she works, like incorporates with the staff, and even as well Demigod. Like Demigod seems like a pretty awesome design, and I really wanted to see if I could play as these characters or even learn moves from them. I thought that would have been very interesting to find out. Another thing that's must to say is that there are a lot of characters as well that are missing from that. I have noticed, like, you know, say like Andrew 16, a lot of the androids are missing, like certain GT characters are missing as well, and they have said that they are going to add some of these into DLC later on in the match, but even so, it's like we are missing quite a few characters and all that, and not to mention that the story isn't fully told in this story. Like, yes, like probably everyone like who's bought this game probably knows the gist about the Dragon Ball Z story, but even so, they basically vastly like cut out a lot of the Cell saga and just make the Android saga just non-existent at point. It's like there's a slight bit with Trunks, but it's like there really wasn't a lot with the Android saga. That was pretty much cut out for the most part, even as well with the Boo stuff like that. Deborah wasn't in there. It's like there was a few stuff that was kind of like a little irked me off a bit, but most of the time it was pretty much it. Not to mention as well, the people, like, this game is challenging. This is a good and a bad thing at the same time. Like, you have a great challenge. It isn't just going to be like, oh, it's just punch him a few times, that'll be it. No, characters do have levels, but I fear that a lot of like casual players will find this very challenging and very difficult. I would highly recommend as well, if you've got a friend around about the same level, you do online questing and like do like some like cool little grinding and stuff like that, because honestly the last boss is fucking like seriously, not the last boss but the second to last boss, holy crap, that is extremely hard. Like, you have to go against two of the most powerful characters in the entire of the DBZ universe, and they kick your ass. Like, I had like can't scream enough how many times I had to replay this level just to even beat these guys, and a lot of people are also going to be very stressed out about that. Not to mention there are not enough transformations. Only the Saiyans really get a Super Saiyan transformation. I really would have loved with my margin class, which I thought I was going to get into. It's like I thought I was actually going to have a transformation which turned me into like Super Boo or something like that, or Kid Boo. I really would have loved if I had like the male Boos had like that sort of form to them. I thought that would have been really cool and interesting for them to have. Or like the humans have like a special ability, or like the Frieza race can like go from like, you know, all of Frieza's forms or something like that. It's like I feel like stuff like that could have been like easily like put in all that, but hopefully maybe if they ever make a sequel, that could be added in there. Also as well, like I did mention before, there are certain stage damage effects and all that. Not every stage does have this. This is like mainly a nitpick and all that, so since like the stage like just like revives itself if you do like a final flash, and I've noticed like other games have done that, like when you take like damage to like the earth and all that, you actually see the damage effects and all that. I mean, hey, at least you can see like the damage effect on your characters and all that, so that's pretty cool and all that. And then all I can say is like the last boss is pretty much a joke. The second to last boss, that's a bitch. That's a really hard like boss. The game probably should have just ended there, but it's like the last boss is honestly just a joke, and it's just mainly a boss rush. It's like yeah, it's like not exactly like the best way to end the game and all that, but it did have a really cool moment and all that, which pretty much made like I'm pretty sure every Dragon Ball Z fan just like go crazy at the end and all that. And for the most part as well, and this is something that can be very fixed at like later on in a later day, but the online is pretty much unplayable at the moment. You couldn't even play the single mode and all that if you have to like go on your online mode. Literally, I had to like the next day have to turn off my online on my PS4 just so I could actually play the single player. And there is a way you can get around to get onto the online mode and play with friends and all that, and it's very complicated. It's really pain in the ass and all that, but it's like the online mode is, for the most part, really good, really enjoyable. I will say though, for the online, I'm very disappointed that we haven't actually got like time limits or anything like that. Like me and my friends have been wanting to play like, you know, longer matches because like for the most part we go for like 3 whole minutes and all that in the timeout, and it's like we want to go for like 10 minutes or something like that. We want to have some awesome battles like that, and it would be nice to see like some different variations, like if you had like some stock lives or something like that. Say like, oh, both characters get like 2 lives or something like that, and then after they've been knocked down the second time, then they're fully dead after that. Like they can't be revived after that. Like that stuff would have been interesting. For the most part though, this game is absolutely amazing. You can go through pretty much all the DBZ arc. You go from Frieza to Beerus from the Battle of the Gods arc all the way up to there, and it has its own little twist. And overall, this game is just amazing, and I can wholeheartedly say that the people, I would highly recommend picking up Xenoverse. This is the best, and I will say for the most part, this is the best Dragon Ball game that you are going to get at the moment, because this game is, honestly, it does so many things right, and it's like, most part of what I had on the cons, it's just nitpicks really. Like a lot of it can be fixed with DLC, a lot of them could be like adding like extra modes and all that for the game. If they get this game support like they're doing with the season pass, and they just get support saying like we can create new modes and stuff like that, this could be one of the potentially the greatest Dragon Ball Z like exist and all that. And it's like they can easily fix this with like just DLC or potentially a sequel. I hope this game does well enough to reach a sequel, because I really enjoy it. It's really good, and I've had countless hours on the single player and the multiplayer enjoying this with friends, having a blast, just enjoying myself, and it's just so much fun to play through the entire of the DBZ saga, just go through it, and it's just so much fun, and it's just exhilarating. That's why for my final review on this, I'm going to give this game a wholeheartedly 9 out of 10. I think this game is amazing, and a lot of the issues that it has and all that can either be fixed with DLC later on the line, or just do a few little tweaks here, or hell, if the sequel ever comes up to this game, it is probably going to be one of the best Dragon Ball Z games of all freaking time if the story is there. But that's all from me, so thank you very much for watching as always, and I hope you enjoyed this review. Very long review, but I'll see you guys next time.